Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. So today we're over on the free-to-play account. A lot of players have been asking how we're doing on the free-to-play account. Haven't really pushed much progression lately, but ultimately guys, we're in chapter 20 already, so definitely doing well. What we focused on lately, and I was working on it quite a bit last night, is looking at our heroes. So I actually picked up Ainz and I picked up Albedo, guys. So we have the dynamic duo here to go ahead and hopefully make a little bit of progression. What's going on, Kenneth? Anton is here, JBL, Dave, Levi, Milton. A lot of us hopping on there. So essentially, we took Ainz and linked him with Shimira because Shimira has been kind of falling off. So we've been stuck for a lot of progression as of chapter 20. Unfortunately, couldn't make any progression. And I also picked up Albedo as well. I'm starting to get her gear. As you can see, we have all non-faction gear. What's going on, Javid? Monty is here too. Damon and Darkblane. So ultimately, how do you pick up the heroes? A lot of questions I got about the video last night was how do we pick up the heroes? They are actually right here in the friends. You can garrison the heroes. So when you look here, garrison, Ainz I borrowed from myself for 37 days. You only get them 30 days for every stone you use. I've had Ainz for a little bit. I used a second stone on him. You can go up to 60 days with 2 stones. So essentially I have 37 days left on him. And then from Javid, we borrowed Albedo. That way we can go ahead and get 30 days on her. So ultimately, we have a total of 29 days. We're going to have both heroes. Ainz, we're going to have a little bit longer. But essentially what you do is exchange resources for these stones. You can get 2 stones per month. That is the maximum. Once you borrow or once you utilize your resources, a total of 6 times, just like looking at Ainz here, resources no longer needed after hiring 4 times. So after hiring him 4 times, I'll just be able to get him without the resource cost of buying the stones. What's going on, board? Just read another Titanic story. Nice. Ainz or Albedo? Honestly, Anton, I would go Albedo just because Albedo complements Ainz so very, very well. My third choice would definitely be Ezio, just because, again, it's very, very good. Albedo required for good Ainz comp. I borrowed Ainz, but I don't have Albedo. It helps a lot. So the big thing, and this is why the heroes really go together with perfect synergy. Right here, guys. During battle, the defense rating of all dimensional heroes are increased by 15% for every dimensional that is in the allied formation. This effect of the ability can stack up to 2 times. So essentially having them paired together with 2-dimensional heroes in the formation will make a big difference on the defense. Plus 20 gives you 3 times, plus 10 gives you the 25% bonus to defense. And then of course the plus 30 is really what you want. The attack rating of all dimensional heroes are increased by 15%. This ability can stack up to 3 times, meaning you are supercharging Ainz not only with a high defense boost, but also a high attack rating boost when you get that plus 30 item with Albedo. They go together. They go together very, very well. What's going on, Abby? And the Viper Industries is here as well. We're just starting. Albedo, yeah, Albedo is good with Ainz. They're one in the same. They go together even when they're with their abilities. Some of the abilities right there will provide Ainz is an ally. He will prioritize him over all others. So essentially they are built together similar to what we have Joker and Queen. They're 2 heroes that are built to synergize together. Queen has the stuns where Joker has the ability and the damage. They do go together. Can you garrison more than 1 dimensional? Yes, you can, Viper. So here I have both of them garrisoned. Yep. So right here I have both of them garrisoned. If I went ahead and bought, I didn't buy out my stone, but essentially you can have 2 heroes garrisoned every month because you can get 200 of your dimensional stone fragments. So 2 full stones, 2 full heroes. But guys, remember, once you borrow the heroes 6 times, again, once you borrow them 6 times, you don't need resources, meaning you don't need the stone anymore. We haven't gotten to the point of them being out long enough to see, but I'm assuming that once Ainz hits my 6 times borrowed, since he's only at 4 times, once he does hit that 6 times borrowed, I can just go ahead and borrow him from whoever has him, and it will not cost me resources to borrow because once you do it 6 times, he is going to be free. Free-to-play account, I'm in 2960. It's so hard. And my other free-to-play account is 19.6. In my pay-to-win account, I'm 39-4. And in my normal account, I pay, but not pay to win. Yeah, absolutely, Dave. And that's the big power of being free-to-play versus pay-to-win. If you are putting currency into AFK Arena, you will make progression that much faster. You will honestly make that progression that much faster. Loaned Albedo and Ainz, but Albedo is dying so fast. So a lot of times, Avi, what I do, even here, if you guys seen the videos, I will either put Albedo up front. So we'll actually put Albedo up front. A majority of the time, I start her in the back line. One big thing with Albedo is with her 3 of 9 furniture. So once you start building furniture on Albedo, you can actually, she gains I believe it's a 10-second immunity, which is very, very powerful. So when she takes, or when she triggers the effect of her furniture, she gets a 10-second immunity. That is really what buys her the time, essentially, to progress, to be really, really strong and progress, is her 3 of 9 furniture. A lot of players have said the 3 of 9 furniture is really required for her because of that factor, giving her that immunity. Should I get Albedo or Ezio to be with Ainz? Honestly, Kevin, I would go Albedo. Again, Albedo goes really well together with Ainz, giving him massive defense boost and the attack boost. Especially if you throw Arthur in there as a third. Again, the attack boost, the defense boost is going to be that much stronger. Plus, Arthur is going to buff Ainz. So it's really a solid synergy. Another hero that works really, really well with Ainz is, of course, Tassie. So here we're looking at building Tassie as well. She is actually right here. Tassie works very, very well in here, even dropping out Silas, putting in Tassie, because Tassie will provide the banish. So Tassie, with taking a hero essentially out of the formation with the banish, if she does get to ult with that sleep ability, makes a very, very big difference when it comes to how well this team performs. And I also do like running Saurus in here. Essentially, I would run Arthur and Saurus. Because remember, guys, when Saurus gets his stacks up, he can heal the entire team, keeping Albedo alive, keeping Arthur alive, while Tassie is providing a lot of crowd control. So it's very, very interesting to see exactly how it works. And today, guys, if you didn't realize or if you guys didn't see, the stream is only up on YouTube. So with using Streamlabs, we can stream both places, but lately it's had a lot of errors. So I've been getting a lot of error messages when it comes to streaming on Twitch and YouTube at the same time. Even the notifications weren't working. Some of the stuff just isn't working with kind of the carryover, I think, streaming to both of them. So unfortunately, this is just on YouTube. We did have to take Twitch out. It wouldn't even load into Twitch, and I don't know what's going on with it. I know we did have an update to Streamlabs. We had an update to Twitch. So I don't know if there's something going on with it. Is it worth to build Ainz if you don't have Albedo? I cannot borrow Ainz and Albedo same month, same time because I'm low on resources. Yes, Monsi. So essentially the big thing with Ainz, and this is really the focus, is Ainz has to have support. Again, that is really the big focus. Ainz has to have support to stay alive, to buy him time to ult. Similar to a lot of other heroes we see, similar to Raku, similar to Respin, they need time. They need time to build, just like Damon with his blood shield, just like Isolde with the scaling. He has to have time to scale, because essentially when you look at Ainz, he powers up. That's really the big thing. And even we'll slow it down here. You'll see it at the beginning. He comes out, boom, there's the power up. There he is, powering up energy, attack, defense, attack, defense. Albedo comes for the guard right there, waiting to go boom, teleport somewhere else to shield, but now he is fully powered up. Boom, there's the ult, killing pretty much everything. We still have Damon out here to finish out the teams. Then, of course, look at that. Albedo runs right back to protect Ainz again, which is the reason they go together so well. It just, the synergy of those two, like I said earlier, they were built for each other. Honestly, they were definitely built for each other. I have Joker with Garrison. I'm getting Ainz. I guess I should get Albedo for Ainz instead of Queen for Joker. Yeah, Levi, I would prioritize those two first. just because Albedo and Ainz, again, they go together very, very well. And also, if you have them built, especially if you're running, again, with Arthur, you're talking 3 of the 5 teams are going to be right there. Arthur's relatively easy to get. So if you have Ainz, you have Albedo, you have Arthur, you can actually put these last 2 positions essentially as fillers. There's a lot of different ones that you can do. Again, just to buy Ainz time to alt. That's really what you want to do. On both. Yeah, Javid, and I think that might be part of it. Yes, absolutely, Anton. That is the other hero. So if you guys seen the video again from last night, Rowan is probably one of the most amazing. He is my favorite hero. One of the most amazing heroes in AFK Arena because he can buy time not only with his damage mitigation, but he also does have a stun ability, has a heal ability with the pots. When you get his signature item, he has an energy potion. He is just all around an absolute monster. Look at that. 615,000 at Legendary Plus, no signature item. He is such a strong hero, even with absolutely nothing on him. Is Arthur worth it? Yes. Christos, I would say Arthur is the best tank in the game. Honestly, when you look at the ability, the big thing that I look at with Arthur is what Arthur brings to the team. So when Arthur's with Ainz, when Arthur's with Gwen, when Arthur's with Raku, what Arthur brings to the team, it is very, very strong. There's team synergy that he brings, plus he has mitigation. He's one of the very few heroes that bring mitigation. Screg brings mitigation, which is just straight damage reduction. Arthur brings it, Screg brings it. Not too many other tanks have a straight damage mitigation. On top of the mitigation, Arthur shields himself. It's very, very strong. It's very interesting to see, how strong Arthur is. A lot of times when I run Arthur, because I have him geared out on my FHG account, he'll be the last hero alive. Almost 9 times out of 10, he will be the last hero alive because his survivability is so high. It's very, very cool to see. Your power level is way too high. Absolutely, Dave. That is why I wanted to go ahead and push progression. I probably haven't even made any progression on here, Dave, in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It has been a considerable amount of time, and I realized how close we were getting in levels, especially making progression. So I want to push as far as we can today. Once we get stuck at a stage, this is the methodology that I use for AFK Arena. Once we get stuck on a stage, we'll swap over to the tower. So we'll actually hit up our faction towers. As you guys know, some days all the faction towers are open. Once we push all the floors of those faction towers, if it means doing 10 floors or less, then we'll swap over to the Labyrinth. Once the Labyrinth's done, then we go for a little bit of PvP. Once I complete PvP, we hit up the Voyage of Wonder, we hit up the Peaks of Time with progression. Once all of that is exhausted, guys, so once we go through all of that progress essentially through a lot of AFK Arena, then I revert back to the campaign and we continue pushing the campaign. I knew today on the stream we're going to answer a lot of questions. We're going to go ahead and hopefully make a lot of progression. But see, even here, some teams you fight, some of it's just about RNG. Some of it, the teams are just very, very difficult to get through. Arthur is immune to crowd control and 5 health per second. Yeah, exactly. His plus 30 SI is very, very strong. Not only in addition to that, is when you're taking a hero from plus 20 to plus 30 with the signature item, you get a ton of stats. There's a big difference between plus 10 and plus 20. Just when it comes to the stats of a hero alone, it works really, really well. What is the best pairing you found? Ullard, Scrag, Lucy. I liked Ullard and Ullard and Titus will work. So the problem, Hyatt, that a lot of people have found with Ullard and a lot of people that quit using him or Ullard, however you want to say it, is that if there's a hero that's delayed coming on the battlefield, he will not shield them. Meaning when you have Cecilia come out, Cecilia is not getting the shield. When you have Athalia coming out, Athalia is not getting the shield. A lot of players have kind of backseated Allard because of that reason. I think you have to find a niche for him. What's going on, Moa? I'm not sure if Board or Javid have any more input onto exactly where we would use Allard. I built him up on the Lightbearer account, but haven't really found a solid place that he fits and really, really performs well. What's a good comp for Lucy? Alna will work with the Lucy comp. Ultimately, though, Alna is kind of an overkill. The big thing, great day with Lucy, is she doesn't need anyone else. That's really the big thing with Lucy, is when the heroes die, they give Lucy that massive, massive buff. Again, Lucy doesn't really need anyone else to do really well. It is just overall Lucy being Lucy. You do need the RNG to work, but once she gets that buff for the heroes that die, she will destroy. She will absolutely destroy. Again, just trying to get that to work is really, really the big thing. As a free-to-play, should I get a copy of Mortis or Lucretia? This will only take them to E and resource. Should I get 2 copies of a desired heroes or resources for the new event? Honestly, Moa, so I would pick up Mortis first. And I know Javid has talked about this too. I would go ahead and get Mortis up to E+, because there are a lot of situations, the Twisted Realm, the Abyssal Expedition, there's a lot of spots that you're going to use Mortis, and Mortis does only have to be at Elite Plus. No really reason to get a signature item, not a big reason to get his furniture. So ultimately, it will help. It will help a lot just having him if you don't have him built. And then after that, I would build, essentially my build is getting the twins up to Mythic Plus, getting Mortis to E+, and then going all in for Lucretia is very, very strong. It is a tried and true method across a lot of different accounts. Because again, Lucy can push progression by herself. She can absolutely destroy when it comes to the King's Tower, which gives you diamonds, a lot of resources, a lot of gold. She can solo floors by herself, which is very, very tough to say about a lot of heroes. But Lucy is awesome. Lucy should be with Chicken or Iran because they can stack them up. Yep. And there you go. So Lucy, especially again, early game, mid game, if you start building Lucy, especially when you unlock that signature item, boom, completed with chapter 20, guys. We figured it would be an easy walkthrough because we were so overpowered. But we want to make progression on here because we haven't made much progression at all. And we should be much farther. And there's our stones, guys. We haven't even unlocked our tier 1 stones yet. So I'm hoping that might have actually gave us... there's a little bit of gear. It looks like for Wilders there. Got 4 scrolls there. Got 20 scrolls there. So absolutely awesome. So we're going to continue. And it looks like this is pretty empty here, guys. We got 2 friends that are in here, and that is it. Lucy, yeah. I didn't do the last AE because I was intimidated by how complex it sounds. The Viper industry, the Abyssal Expedition is complex when you first get in there. The best thing to do if you're new to it, honestly, go in there if you're willing to dedicate time, because I know another Abyssal Expedition is coming up pretty soon, guys. So the way that I look at the Abyssal Expedition, it is really 2 ways. One, if you are a daily player, you're going to put time into AFK Arena, even if you're logging in, let's say once or twice a day, definitely go with the honorable. Even if you're lower, so what? It costs you 3,000 diamonds. Really go in there and figure out the Abyssal Expedition. Be with a much, much stronger group so you can make progression. And again, if you're a daily player, absolutely, I would go in there honorable, even if you're earlier in the game, to really get a higher quality of people who are spending diamonds to go in there, because you know they have stake in the game. You know they have a commitment because they're putting diamonds in there. Viper, ultimately, if you're a player that plays every day, every 2 days, not really not really consistent with the play style of AFK Arena, I would definitely go the casual enrollment when it comes to AE, because you don't want to get left behind. That's really the big problem with the AE, is if you're not playing on a regular basis, if you get left behind, it's almost impossible to catch up, is really the big thing with the Abyssal Expedition, where if you literally burn all of your stamina to catch up, it's very, very hard. Is Grez enough at plus 23 of 9? I'm thinking about using my swap scroll on him. Lethal crossbow, yes. Grez is a hero that you'll use in the Twisted Realm. You'll use in a bunch of different categories. 20 SI, 3 of 9 is good. As you start pushing further into the Twisted Realm, as you start leveling, especially if you're in the Fabled Realm, 9 of 9 really comes the priority. There will come a point where you have to have him built, and you have to have him built pretty much as high as Grez can go to keep up with the Twisted Realm. And here, guys, it looks like we're might be at a little bit of a sticking point right now. And I hate fighting Sylvana. Sylvana is very, very tough to deal with. But essentially, let's swap this out. We'll swap Silas back in here. Again, Silas gets two-shotted there, so the cart's out of here. But we are almost getting them down. No, we'll swap out Rowan. I don't even think Rowan's wearing any gear at this point. Fuse the heroes, yeah. Best hypo, absolutely. Lucretia. Lucretia is the absolute best hypo hero that there is. She just absolutely dominates. What's going on, Law? It's going well. Got my coffee here. Got my Sunday coffee. Should I go for Albedo or the New Dimensional? Christos, right now, I would go ahead and pick up Albedo. We know how good Albedo is. We still don't know when the New Dimensional is coming. It could be a week, could be 2, could be a month. We don't know exactly when the hero is coming. So ultimately, I would use the heroes now and make progression now. Yeah, I didn't think we had anything on him. I would go ahead and make the progression now and go ahead and save later. So guys, remember, Lilith has really stressed that when a hero is released, so when a dimensional hero is released, so when we get access to the Prince of Persia, they are going to allow us enough time to build up resources to get the hero. So essentially, they're going to make sure that we're not short, essentially, on a hero, because they are going to give us the resources to pick them up. So once the Prince of Persia, or once he does release, if he's the only dimensional, they are going to give us enough time to get the resources. So stockpiling the stuff right now doesn't make sense, because when you get to the end of it, you're going to have enough resources and you're just going to be sitting on them. Can in the Abyssal Expedition save your stamina until you get good? Yeah, exactly, Dave. There's a lot of tricks, which when the Abyssal Expedition comes out, guys, I do a couple guides because I know it is very, very complex. So ultimately, getting a lot more information out of there, especially if it's your first time going into the Abyssal Expedition, definitely check out the guides. Check out the guides that I put out. Check out the content that Vulcan puts out. If there's guides up on Reddit, the more information that you can get on the Abyssal Expedition, the better. And if you played the Hunting Fields, it's pretty similar to the Hunting Fields. It does have a little bit of changes kind of here and there, but it's definitely similar feel to the Hunting Fields. Javid and FHG, what is your priority list for the swap scroll? I'm considering Isolde, Pippa, and Lorzen. Hyatt, who are you swapping with? That's the big thing. So depending on the heroes you use, or even the heroes that you don't use, are kind of the other part of it. So essentially, if you have a hero that you're not using at all, so essentially just like I did my fusions here with Belinda. So I got Belinda built up. She's at 1 star. I don't use Belinda. Short of being in the Lightbearer Tower, I don't use Belinda. Exact same thing with Shamira. I replaced Shamira with Ainz. I don't use Shamira. The only time that I'd probably use her is the Twisted Realm, or I would use Shamira when it comes to the Greyborn Tower. So if there's a hero that you're not using and you're not using the hero at all, yeah, I mean, I would definitely replace the hero if you're not using them. I'm barely top 2K and FR with max Grez. Yeah, I know, Damon, when you get there, it's definitely a little bit more hardcore in there. What's going on, Kevin? Thank you for joining us. Will Arthur be removed from the Labyrinth store soon, or should I get the other copies? I only have 1 of 4. As far as I know, Moa, Arthur is not going anywhere. Arthur is going to be in there. But the big thing is also, guys, is once you buy Arthur, you get access to dimensional emblems. So the emblems of space show up in the Labyrinth store once you buy out Arthur. That is really another big reason to buy Arthur. So essentially, when you go into the store, once you buy him out, once you have Arthur built, this turns into emblems of space to go ahead and level up signature items, which is going to help for Ainz, Albedo, for Arthur, for Ezio, for all of the heroes that need those emblems. You can now buy those emblems out of there when Arthur's no longer there. So it would definitely be worth it. How much time do I have? About half an hour, guys. We're 26 minutes in by the count on Streamlabs. So we usually stream about an hour, hour 15 roughly. And we've just been going through a lot of progression, guys. So we went through about half of stage 20 into 21. And this is what we wanted to do. This is what we needed to do. Even here, I know, again, we haven't made progression on the free-to-play in a long time, so I definitely wanted to run this. I'm considering Lucius, who I only use in the Lightbearer Tower. Yeah, I mean, you could definitely do that, Hyatt, depending where you have him, because you want to make sure, too, that the value is there. I mean, if you have Lucius Ascended, switching an Ascended for an Ascended is not really what I would use the swap scroll for, Hyatt. I would more focus on heroes that have higher signature items, heroes that have furniture that you're not utilizing. Ultimately, you'll get the other heroes built. It might take a little bit of time, but you'll get them built to make sure that you're maximizing the scroll and essentially what you're getting out of the scroll. Has a guide for the Magician's event. I kind of did a guide, Mailman. I covered it. I covered the event the first time, and then a second one was kind of what to buy. Essentially, with the Magician's event, you get all of your tricks out of dailies. So literally, if you hop in all 12 days, you do your dailies, you get all of your tricks. I covered what to buy in there in the last video we did. And that's really it. I mean, there's not really much to the event. There's no boss. There's no team comps you got to utilize. There isn't much when it comes to the event. I wish they'd give us a little bit more, but ultimately go in, do your dailies, buy your items, and you're done. It's definitely pretty easy on this one. What's going on, Ryan? What's up, Pippa? I was able to push free to play. The furthest I got to chapter 29, was able to push to 29:33. Very nice, Shane. Yeah, if you're pushing halfway through 29 as free to play, that is very strong. I'm in chapter 18. Should I slow my progression and start farming gear, or farm gear once I get the tier 1 stones? Angel, honestly, I would go ahead and just continue progression, because when you're starting to go through chapters, you'll get tier stones through the rewards, especially when it comes to buying gear out of the shop. The gear will come. You can stall a little bit, but I wouldn't stall that long, because essentially now with progression, they have so much more, whether it's going through and unlocking the Field of Stars, getting more gear that way, which I don't know if we unlocked anything in here, which we did with progression. I would rather go ahead and unlock these Field of Stars and unlock all of my bonuses that we have in here than just kind of sandbagging for progression. Even here, we get more emblems. The gear will come. I mean, either you're going to be stuck early or you're going to be stuck later. Either way, hunting coins, team hunt guild coins. So that means more gear right there, because now I get more coins when I go ahead and fight the bosses. So very nice. Are dimensional emblems a bigger priority than Wukong? Lethal crossbow, I would honestly say yes. Just for the fact, within the month, you should be able to probably get both of them. You should be able to get a copy of Wukong and get the emblems within a month of farming them, or in the month of doing the Dismal Lab or the Labyrinth. You should be able to get both of them. Keep in mind, if you're using Gwen, get Arthur. He perfectly fits Gwen comps. Arthur is very good in Gwen. Yeah, absolutely, Dave. So some of the comps with Arthur that we've seen working absolutely perfectly. Arthur, Gwen, because remember, Gwen's normal attacks, very, very powerful. They work well together. Arthur works well with Odin. Arthur works well with Isabella. They're both very, very strong behind Arthur because of the increased haste and the cast speed they get. Makes a very, very big difference. Arthur works well with Ainz because of the boost that he offers. Arthur is a monster tank that brings a lot to the team. I absolutely love it. Start farming gear, have a very strategic way. Yeah, Javid has a really strategic way, guys, to farm gear, especially free to play, to take more time. Who is better, Raku or Pippa? Honestly, out of those two, it really depends. The only time that I've ever seen Pippa used, Sabuff, is within the portal party. So Pippa can definitely be used in the portal party. Raku, I've seen just as kind of a primary DPS. Because of how his abilities are built, he's doing a ton of damage to teams just, again, as like a primary DPS. Where Pippa has a little bit of RNG. Both of them do require a significant investment to have them perform well, but ultimately it's your choice. If you're going for portal party, Pippa. If you're not building that portal party formation, I would probably go with Raku. Raku seems to have a little bit more flexibility than what I find with Pippa. Pippa seems a little bit more niche than what I find. Magician's Hat is one of my favorites. Yes, absolutely. I love the Magician's Hat. Log in, do your daily, pick up your loot. That it's just that easy. Especially because there's no boss, there's nothing else you have to do, there's no team comps. It's literally the other big thing, guys, with the Magician's Hat that a lot of players don't realize is every single trick you pull. So when you get those 30 and you pull a trick, it gives you loot. So out of every single one, guys, you get loot. It gives you red chests. It gives you Stargazer cards. It gives you a ton of loot on top of the loot you get from the actual event. So again, make sure that you're going in there. Make sure you're doing your dailies. Make sure you're getting all of your tricks. I believe in total you get 110 circus medals. So make sure that you go in and do the dailies for those 12 specific days. Because it is very, very beneficial. You get loot on top of loot from the event. So again, that is the big reason why it is so beneficial for events like this. It's a ton of loot. I'm struggling on Mortis. Need 3 plus chess or just chess. Mortis, essentially, if you need 3 to get him ascended, Damon, I wouldn't even worry about getting him ascended. Essentially, neither of my Mortis on my free-to-play account, or excuse me, my FHG account or my pay-to-win account, neither one has Mortis ascended. There's no reason for it. Honestly, right now, even how far we are, there isn't really much reason to have Mortis built that high because you're not gaining any more utility out of him. That's kind of the big thing there. My level gap in campaign is so larger than my gap in the faction tower. I kind of struggle for teams in there considering I use an Ainz comp. Yeah, and you will, Viper Industries. So because you are kind of pigeonholed to a specific faction when it comes to the faction towers, it's always going to be very difficult to push progression in there unless you focus on one specific faction, using all of your faction scrolls essentially for that specific faction is the way that you're going to. And Ainz just double nuked everybody there, guys. 3 million damage. Rest of the team died out very early. Halfway through 21, which is where we needed to be. 21, 22 is where we're probably going to land. Javid, is there an event that benefits your extra damage? Not sure what you mean, Zen. I'm on the new server, 835. I just started the game on a new server. Will they release Eins there? No, they will not. So any of the dimensional heroes, is it Rodrev? You can pick them up through the dimensional stones, but the heroes are not going to be released. Lilith has already said they are not going to release any of the older dimensional heroes. There's not going to be a re-release. They kind of had to work around with the dimensional stones so you can get dimensional heroes, even though you don't have to earn them or buy them, short of the resources essentially for the stone. Should I buy Wukong or build Aziz? Honestly, I would build Aziz, but with them being Challenger store versus Labyrinth store, out of the Labyrinth store, definitely Arthur, building him all the way up, getting those emblems of space, and then building Aziz. Out of the Challenger store, Aziz is the biggest priority. I would absolutely build Aziz. Aziz is the biggest priority, guys. Does the AFK rewards get better the longer? No, it does not. The AFK rewards, you can pick them up anytime you want. Doesn't make a difference of when you pick them up. Has anyone tested a multiply team? Wukong, Grez, Baden, Peggy, Nimitsu? Yeah, we've tried kind of like I think they call it like an overrun team or a multiply team, Levi. It doesn't work very well for the fact that out of that combination, Baden really doesn't do anything. Baden needs a rework. He dies very, very quickly. It would be interesting to test, but Baden definitely needs help because essentially you have to get the team to scale. And out of that, you have to have enough heroes to get that team to scale before they die. That's really the big thing. How should I deal with having only Taylene and Rowan as heals? I'm on the double boss stages and I have to use both in one team. Do you have anyone else, Jack? So essentially when you start getting to there, some of the subs, definitely Nimitsu is a really, really good sub with the totems to swap out either Rowan or Taylene. Same with Silas. Silas is a really, really good sub in there to, again, swap out one of those two. So you can run Rowan in one team. You can run Taylene in one team. When you get to the double boss stage, you'll have to start splitting both of them. A couple of heroes like Damon. Damon can pretty much do everything by himself, which I think we can go ahead. We finally got enough. We can level him up. We'll go ahead. We'll level up Damon a little bit. That'll help a big, big difference because now he's at 240. That is where we want to keep him. Yeah, Damon will work really anywhere. Damon's a hero you can plug into a comp. The RNG with Damon will work, and it will work really, really well because he is so strong. He's a hero. A lot of people thought they were going to nerf Damon. They said the same with Lucretia. They said the same with a bunch of different heroes that are just seemingly almost broken because once you get them to scale, you can't kill them. And that's kind of the problem that we find. Once you get Damon completely built, once you get him furniture, if he scales a little bit with the blood shield, he's very, very tough to kill. Yep, you can use Brutus instead of Saurus. Brutus buys time. That's really the big thing with Brutus, with his immunity. Even if you just have him very, very low level, the couple of seconds the immunity Brutus buys is what players are using him for. That's really it. Free to play can get 140 red chests plus a ton of resources. That's pretty good. Yeah, exactly, Mailman. That's one of the reasons that I love this event, especially if you guys are putting anything into it. As a light spender, you get more resources. So if you're buying tricks out of the daily store, if you're spending $1, if you're spending $5, whatever it may be, every single magician's hat, every trick you do, you're getting more resources. So like I was saying earlier, is you're getting resources on top of resources on top of resources, which is absolutely amazing how this is set up, how the event is set up. It is very cool to see ultimately how they built that. And before the Magician's Hat had a boss, which was cool, which I believe back then it was the Grotesque Mage. I think they did for a while. Hello, Hippo. My Merc gear drops from 5 stars to 3 stars on all the heroes, and I start noticing that after the tier 3 gear updates. Oh, so the gear's dropping? Well, the gear you borrow, Majd, is based on your power. So when you're merking heroes, it's based on your power. So the higher power, even if you go through and strip all the gear off of all of your heroes, you'll get your mercs at a certain power. If you go equip all of your heroes, it will go ahead and level them up higher. It'll level your merked heroes up higher. What's going on, Mako? Thank you for joining us. Magician's Hat will be over the moment the 2nd anniversary ends. So I believe we have a day. I believe it's a little bit over a day. So essentially what happened on the test server, guys, and I'll show you real quick. When the anniversary party ended, which is 1 day, 6 hours, on the test server, the second that this was over, so the second this expired, the Magician's Hat came up. So it should be really, really quick that it's up. Again, on the test server, the moment the 2nd anniversary expired, so the moment that it was up, the new event popped right up. Nope. Linaris, it's not up yet. It's not up global. So it should be pretty soon. So Tuesday essentially. Which I know, like we've said a lot before, when you look at Lilith's track record, almost everything is patched Monday up on Tuesday, depending, I guess, on your time zone. But ultimately, that's what I see here. We patch Monday, Tuesday. Usually, for me, it's 2 to 4 p.m. that they have the servers down. And then 8 p.m. at reset is when everything goes live. So we got new Voyage of Wonders coming. We have a lot of stuff coming. Javid bullying Dave or is trolling him? I don't know what's going on with the chat. Yeah, so it'll be coming soon, guys. And there's a lot of, again, a lot of content, a lot of information, new Voyage of Wonders on there. Nothing coming up, new heroes, anything like that as of right now. That's probably one of the biggest questions that I get, and the question that I always get. When is the new dimensional heroes coming? When are we getting the new celestial heroes? Ultimately, guys, as soon as I hear about it, I will share it with you guys. You know, I stay up on Discord, I stay up on Reddit, I stay up on all the content. And if you haven't noticed that everything right now is the meme contest. Players absolutely love memes, and it has been the meme contest everywhere, which some of the memes are so funny. To look at a lot of the memes that players have come up with. I cannot wait to see what the result of the contest is going to be. I hope they make more skins obtainable like the Scrath skin. Yeah, they've been making, when they release 2 skins, Viper, they've been doing one that is kind of purchase, just like we seen there with the Gwen skin, and then they've done one that you can acquire. Here we get a couple more scrolls. And I'm thinking we're going to use our scrolls for light bearers today. Big thing is I want to get Rowan up a little bit higher. I need some food out of there. So we can do a couple summons. We have 36 scrolls. We are going to swap this over to the light bearers. We'll do a couple summons there. And I'm thinking we're going to save this right now. Let's go ahead and we'll do some summons. Where's the meme contest? So the meme contest is up on Facebook. So Facebook was the meme contest. Facebook was the art contest and the meme contest. Both of them, Levi, are up on Facebook. What's going on, Glenn? I think Glenn has his hand up. Should I get my Astrilda to Mythic? Astrilda works really well in buffing the team. Astrilda does bring a lot to the Lightbearer Tower. A lot of players have started using Astrilda versus Lucius in the Lightbearer Tower. And she's used in the Twisted Realm when it comes to the Dark Namora. Other than that, there's not really much reason, but you are going to build her eventually because of what she brings to the teams, what she brings to the Lightbearer Tower. Should I save all my summons? If you save your summons, you're going to just hinder your account. Essentially, if you're banking all of your summons, you are going to slow progression on your account. So it's entirely up to you. There's no reason to save all your summons, which there's an elite, guys. Let's see if it is Rowan. It is Rowan. We have been killing Rowan. We have absolutely been destroying Rowan. That's like 4 Rowans in 2 days, guys. Lilith is like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and give him some more copies of Rowan because he needs more Rowan. Boom, we got 5 more there. Some more rare cards. There we go, guys. Another elite is Screg. So not too bad. We have Screg built too. So I'm hoping we picked up. Is it going to be Rowan, guys? Are we going to go 5 copies of Rowan? It is Rigby. Look at that. The drunken tavern master, Rigby himself, the brewmaster. All right, so let's see what we can do here. I'm hoping we have a little bit to get against Rowan up. We have double Rowans there, so if we could build Rowan, we can definitely get him to Ascended. But I think we're going to be a little bit short, guys. We only have 3 here. And then a couple down here. We just need a couple more light bearers. We'd be able to build them. We're going to have to wait. We need one more. Looks like one more copy of a couple different heroes. One more copy there of Angelo, and we could get him all the way to Mythic to get that signature item, which would be awesome. We're getting there. Do you mind doing a quick recap for the 5 best for each faction towers? Leonardo, the big thing with that is it's really dependent, and this is why I don't really cover the faction towers very much. It's very dependent on what heroes you have. So most players don't have 20 heroes for the faction towers. A lot of them are just what heroes you have available. Ultimately, to go ahead, which we have 2 summons here, we'll continue building out a couple more heroes. I want to get some more pieces for Ainz. But we'll take a look because now we've pushed quite a bit. We pushed about a full chapter in the tower. So now what I do, or in the campaign, so what I do now is I swap into the King's Tower. We'll start here. And again, looking at the heroes we have. That's really the only way to really do this right now is the heroes you have to push the tower, especially at the level we're at. You can just push this until it works. Essentially, until you can get a team comp to work, until you can get a team comp to click. Because essentially, even within these team comps, Lightbearer, Rowan is a staple. Rowan is always a staple to have in here. Rose, always very, very strong. There's some combinations that you need 2 tanks, some combinations you need 3 tanks, depending on the team you're fighting to ultimately get through here. Lucius is good. A lot of times he's replaced a little bit later with Hendrik because he dies pretty quick. He doesn't have any damage mitigation. So a lot of times you'll replace him relatively early with either Estrilda or Hendrik. But again, you're pretty limited to the heroes that you have within the tower, depending on who you have built. Again, depending on who you have ascended, who you have built, you really got to work with what you got. Until you have, most of the light bearers built. Peggy, I've heard, does really well in here, but this is the only place that Peggy has been doing really, really well, is in the tower. I only need copies for Allard Ascended, but didn't build him yet since I'm so early. I focused Rowan first. Should I build him? Yeah, you can definitely build Allard. And I heard that Allard with Saurus does really well because Saurus always kind of pushes forward. I know he doesn't have a knockback, but Saurus is very, very strong when it comes to progression. So it'll definitely work with Allard. But Allard, I don't even think you need him to Ascended. I would definitely focus on Rowan first. He'll do well, but you don't need him Ascended. As far as I know, Rodven, you don't need him Ascended to really be successful. Is Damon worth getting 9 of 9 and 30 signature item? He is, Jack, but not a priority. So Damon essentially at a plus 20 signature item at 3 of 9 furniture will work until you progress further into the campaign. You'll have to build them up a little bit more sooner or later. If you're using Damon as a main carry, Jack, I would 100% invest in him if you're using him as the main carry, because essentially from the beginning till you start getting multi-teams in, chapter 31, 32, you'll use him. You'll use him in the campaign. You'll use him through the tower, through the Greyborn Tower. You'll use him. Again, if he is a second hero or he's a little bit further down your priority list, definitely I wouldn't focus on him. If you're using Damon as a main carry, I would absolutely, Jack, just build him out. You're going to build him out anyways. How can you get a lot of Poe coins? Really buying them out of the shop. Events give you quite a bit of Poe coins. There's quite a few ways. Mainly buying them out of the shop is the good way to get them. If you want to just straight up purchase them, you can straight up buy them. A lot of players do that. But ultimately, Poe coins come in time, short of buying them. I mean, if you're dropping money and buying Poe coins, of course it's going to be very, very easy to get Poe coins. But ultimately, I buy them every day out of the shop. So right here, guys, every day out of the shop, 30 days a month, buy them every time. Same with the essence. Always buy all of the essence every single time that you have an opportunity. Every time it's up, just buy it out of there. I mistakenly ascended my Cirrus. Does he have a use anywhere? JQ, he's used in the towers. So you will use him, and I have used him quite a bit in the Wilder Tower. He can work in a couple different formations. He can work different places. Not really a big priority, but he can definitely have his uses, especially when it comes to the Wilder Tower, because he is a pretty solid tank. But looking at the limited tanks, because you have him, you have Gorvo in the tower, he'll work in the tower. He will work in the tower. If you have him ascended, you got lucky with copies, whatever it may be, you'll have a use for him. Yep, Misty Valley, you get a lot of Poe coins. Fast rewards, you can get the Poe coins. Yep, shop refreshes, Twisted Realm. It just takes time. As a light spender, are the pop-up 1,000 customized bundles worth it? Yeah, they're worth it now, Kevin, because you can pick whatever you want in there. So essentially, up until they changed the bundles, which wasn't too long ago, you are locked in with kind of what they offered you. So with the customizable bundles, the $50 and the $100 bundles, they are worth it because you can pick what you need. That is really what Lilith talked about quite a bit, is if I'm at a place where I need more essence, I can go ahead and pick essence. The thousand is a scam, but ultimately when you look in there, if you're going to spend money into the game, if you're going to buy a bundle, get what you need. What's going on, D? The 1,000 is a scam. D called it out. Let's look at the bundle. We have a couple bundles here. So they gave us, we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have a bunch of bundles. So here, guys, you can pick exactly. So we want some Stargazer cards. Here, I need essence for my heroes. For $4.99, we can get our 10 Stargazer cards there. We can get a bundle. And look, we're at 2,000%. I don't know if we're looking at the 2,000% or if you want higher, like the 1,000%, which is quite a bit lower. Like I said, as a light spender, to get exactly what you're looking for, if you're buying the bundles. But when it comes to priorities, and again, Kevin, as a light spender, advancement rewards, priority number 1. I would follow the advancement rewards with the daily rewards out of the shop. I like the daily rewards. Same with the Noble Society. Noble Society gets, especially when you level up the Noble Society, you get to choose what reward you want out of there. And buying out of there, I believe it's $25 for the card for 45 days. you get a lot of rewards. As long as you're playing AFK Arena on a regular basis, the Noble Society, you'll get a ton of rewards out of. So it's very, very good because you'll get a lot of rewards out of there. I'll be able soon to ascend my Lucius. It'll be my first ascended. Is it worth linking him to Ainz? Yeah, if you're not using Lucius, it is worth linking him. Essentially, if you're not using him. If you're using him in the formation, they can't be in the same formation. So you'll have to link him with someone else. What's going on, Sky? I'm new to the Oaken. I only have Chimera and Rowan. Should I keep Chimera in the wish list or swap out for Scrag, which is important later? Honestly, Levi, I don't put Chimera in there. And that's really just my personal preference. Chimera, since we kind of benched her short of the Twisted Realm, there's a lot of other heroes I would prioritize furniture on first. Even though right now she could use the furniture, I wouldn't invest the cards to pick up furniture for Chimera. A lot of people might, but ultimately I wouldn't. I wouldn't go ahead and build her out with furniture. Javid, you kept saying don't use it, but what's the point of having it if you're never going to use it? Oh, the swap scroll. Yeah, and the big thing with the swap scroll, a lot of the way that a lot of players view the swap scroll is if you have a hero that's built, if a hero has signature items, if the hero has furniture, and if it's someone you're not using, that is what a lot of people have swapped. Even when it comes to, let's say, the Lightbearer Tower, I know a lot of players swapped with Belinda because Belinda they built earlier. Belinda was really good. Burst, once you start hitting chapter 26, 28, a lot of people don't use Belinda anymore. And even when it comes to subs in the tower, you have Cecilia, you have Gwen, you have quite a few other heroes you can swap in place of Belinda. So again, it's really just about timing of who you're going to swap. There's our fourth customizable bundle. Do you think it's better to ascend a few heroes to 5 stars or ascend a lot of heroes? MJ, a lot of heroes. I would definitely go with the lot of heroes just because you can get more desired heroes out of the field of stars. I would absolutely go with a lot of heroes. Also, guys, when you take a hero from Mythic Plus to Ascended, you get a major, major boost in stats. When you go from Ascended to 1 star, it's pretty minimal, the amount of stat increase that you get. So I prioritize the heroes going to Ascended for 2 reasons. One, you can utilize the heroes within the towers. So the more Ascended heroes that I have, even here with the World Tree, the Wilder Tower, the more Ascended heroes I have, the more I'm going to progress at a faster pace. Ultimately giving me more heroes to choose from versus having just stronger versions and trying to make it work. What classifies as a hard to get character? Hard to get Celestials and Hypogeans. You can't put them in the wish list. You can't use faction scrolls on them. That would be my only more difficult, hard to get heroes, or I would guess like more rare heroes would be, I guess, another way to put it. Ascending a lot will unlock FOS sooner. Ascending to 5 stars allow you to link a dimensional. Yeah, and there you go, D. So definitely still prioritize many first. And again, that's what I kind of prioritize with the Field of Stars. Even if there's 1 or 2 heroes that you're looking to max out, you know, if for instance I use Damon as a main carry and I use Damon as a main carry in the campaign, he is my go-to hero. Even then, if I go to my wish list here, since I know Damon is Ascended, boom, even if I leave Damon in there, it's not going to be the end of the world if I add stars to Damon, just because he is a hero I'm using in every formation. I'm going to use Damon when it comes to Chapter 30. I am going to use Damon when it comes to multi-teams. He is going to be one part of a multi-team. So essentially, even if you have maybe 1 or 2 heroes that you use in there, I essentially would build them out. The same here with Saurus, or even putting Grez in here. So even if we swapped out here and put in Grez, and the big reason for that is really twofold. So Saurus and Grez, we know, are used in the Twisted Realm. The further that you have Saurus, the further that you have Grez is going to make a difference with the Twisted Realm. So would I make an exception to keep those heroes in the wish list? Absolutely, I would. Just for the simple fact that I know I'm going to use Grez, I know I'm going to use Saurus, I know I'm going to use them, whether it's the Twisted Realm, whether it's the guild bosses, whether it's Riz, whether it's Saurus, or Sorin, whether it's using him in the Abyssal Expedition. There's one or two heroes that I would probably leave in my wish list just for that simple fact of they are heroes I know I am going to utilize right now through the entire game. Even if I get Grez again, 2 stars, 3 stars, 5 stars, whatever it may be, I would leave him in here just for the utilization of he is a hero I know I am going to use, and he's a hero as of right now you're going to use for a ton of things. Yep, my brother wants to ascend 5-star for every tower, but I told him, yeah, and that's the big difference. MJ, like we were saying, is if I have 5 ascended heroes in my Graveborn tower, or I have, I have 5-star heroes, or I have 8 ascended heroes, I can interchange my team to the formations that I'm fighting to actually make a lot more progression MS. Just because I have the versatility of having more heroes in here available that are ascended, ultimately to go through here, I honestly think much easier. I'm not going to use the swap scroll at all for my luck as fast as swap, but they buff. Yeah, exactly, Kenneth. And that's my fear. So Kenneth hit it right on the head. If I go ahead and use my swap scroll for Belinda, and we were laughing about this when we were doing the live stream before, is if I go ahead and swap my Belinda to, let's say, my Daemon, yes, Daemon's awesome. Now Belinda is my elite hero. All of a sudden, next patch, Belinda is getting buffed. You don't have Belinda. You don't have a swap scroll. You're kind of SOL short of trying to build Belinda again if Lilith makes changes to heroes, which, as many of us know, Lilith does make a lot of changes to heroes. Doesn't mean you're never going to use the swap scroll. It possibly could. I could be another at the 3-year anniversary and the swap scroll still just sitting in my bag like it has been. Because essentially, with the desired hero summons, with the wish list, with the amount of heroes in the game, it's not super difficult any longer to get copies of a specific hero you're looking for. Whether it's getting them out of the Misty Valley, again, whether it's doing the desired hero summons, if there's a hero that's built or being reworked, it's not super difficult to get heroes anymore like it once was when it came to AFK Arena. Before, we didn't have the wish list, so literally every pull was random, which made it very difficult. Now if I can summon 4 heroes, 4 copies of a hero that I'm looking for, so now they rework, Baden. Now Baden is the best hero. Well, now I can just go ahead and desire hero summons for Baden, get a little bit of food, build up Baden relatively quickly, which now, like I said, it's a lot easier to get heroes now. Just to send to my first Celestial Twins, I'm trying to get my hero to Mythic. Is it smart, or should I get her past Mythic? Honestly, Alyssa, if Twins is your first, I would swap over to Lucretia. Alyssa, the reason is Lucretia will absolutely carry teams all by herself. You really don't need a lot of other heroes or even a lot more on the team to really carry her. My second choice wouldn't go Mahira unless you want to build Mahira. I mean, ultimately, it's up to your choice to who you want to build. But honestly, I would go over to Lucretia just because she is going to destroy the King's Tower and campaign stages. She is very strong to have built. On chapter 21, I have Daemon 2 stars, Pharrell, Grez, Nara Ascended, and Mythic Silas ready for Ascended. Only need fodder. Should I sit on the chapter until... No, Alexander, I push it as far as I can. Honestly, that's really my personal preference. I really don't sit on very many stages. I kind of just progress through AFK Arena at the pace that I can when I have the time to. Ultimately making as much progression that I can in here because of the rewards that I'm going to get. Again, out of the Field of Stars, picking up more rewards as you make progression, and also with the AFK rewards that are just straight up right here. So every stage you pass, these get higher and higher and higher as you continue progression, which in turn gives you more and more loot the longer you're AFK. Bro, can you share some Ein's team comps? The big thing, Rakib with Ein's is just anything that can support him. It's really easy. That's the really easy part of Ein's is you just need anything that can support him. Whether it's running with Rowan, whether it's running with Arthur as a solid tank, you need to buy Ein's time to ult. His ult is powerful enough that you can go ahead and just decimate the entire team with him ulting, even if it's once or twice. If you run Ein's with Rose, it works well. If you run it with Rowan, it works well. Here I run it with Damon and Scrag, it works well. Ultimately, even if I swapped out him and put in Saurus, anything that is going to buy Ein's time is really all you want to, which I should have Albedo in this comp. I just realized I don't. And I don't think anyone said anything. But ultimately, you know, it's anyone that can buy Ein's time to ult. That is really, that's it. That is all you need. You just need to buy him enough time to ult. Once he ults, most of the time it's over. Even here, boom, that's it. He killed everybody. So it is literally that. He is that powerful, and I don't even have him built. I don't have all of his furniture on him. I don't have any of his furniture specific. I don't even have his signature item built out. Even at this rate, he's just so powerful. I'm quite new. I only have Belinda and Saurus at Ascended. Those are two good ones, Tom. Saurus will do well, especially, Tom, because of the Twisted Realm. It will do really well. What extra rates are given to the wish list? The wish list doesn't have any better rates. So the wish list doesn't have any better rates. When you do a summons, it will only pull one of the 20 heroes in the wish list. So you're really narrowing the field of doing summons with the wish list, because when you stock up the wish list, when you have all 20 heroes in there, you'll pull one of the 20 that is there. So essentially, if I don't have a Baden in the wish list, doing the summons, I will not pull a Baden because Baden's not in the wish list. Now, you can still get him from the faction cards that are dropped on the table, but ultimately from the summons, I won't pull Baden because Baden's not in the wish list. I've used 2 tier 3 stones on Iran. Should I use next on him or finish Ezio, boots and weapons? Really depends, Franken, to who you use. So if you use Iran in your team comps, yep, definitely dropping 2 tier 3 stones on him. That will definitely work. If you use Ezio in your comps and you use him on a regular basis, yep, I would absolutely drop those last 2 stones on Ezio. As long as you're going to use the heroes, that's really the big thing. Making sure that you're utilizing the hero, essentially, that you're putting the items on. What's going on, Levi? Looks like we got a $2 donation in there. Thank you very much. Remember, guys, that's what goes into the pay-to-win account. Everything in super chats, everything in super stickers, that is what we put in there, as well as what we make in revenue from YouTube. That is how we build the account. Coming up on the new event, that is how we're going to build everything in the account. So there is the donation. Thank you, Levi. What about Thorin for Ainz and Taylene to Mythic? Both of them, Rapkin, will be very, very good. Again, Thorin will buy Ainz time to ult. That's really want to, especially with Taylene. Taylene will do the same. Taylene will support. Taylene will heal. Taylene will buy time for Ainz to ult, which is essentially what you want to do. I'm empty. My wish. Oh, Tom, if the wish list is empty, so from my understanding, if the wish list is empty, you can pull any hero that is available. So the wish list just kind of narrows your field of summoning down. If the wish list is empty, you will pull anyone. So you can pull any of the heroes available in AFK Arena if the wish list is empty. Oh, thank you, Levi. Flora on 397 and 390 Mauler Towers hard. Yeah, Smoker. When you start getting there, especially with some of the newer heroes further in the tower, it's very, very hard. Is it possible to get Irons from Scroll? No, none of the dimensionals you cannot pull. You cannot summon dimensional heroes. The only way that you'll be able to get them, Tom, if you did not purchase them, are through the dimensional stones. That's really the only way to build them out, is through the dimensional stones. The only way you're ever going to see Irons is to get them out of the stones. What do you think about fighting Flora in the campaign? Should they reduce the difficulty? I know when they updated Flora, they did reduce the difficulty a little bit. Ultimately, there's teams that can deal with Flora pretty well. There's teams that are very, very difficult that will absolutely get destroyed by Flora. And that's where a lot of the different team comps really come in, is finding one that works fighting against Flora is really it. Again, there's going to be specific team comps that are that are going to be difficult. Essentially, that is how the game is played. You have to have a team comp essentially that you can work with to take down Flora. Yep, everyone but the dimensional heroes can be summoned. Yeah, so Tom, I'll show you really quick. Right in the friends list, Garrison, I have Albedo and Ainz. They're both my Garrison heroes. This one I borrowed from me. This one I borrowed from Javid. So both of my heroes are in here, just making sure that we get those heroes. This is where you'll get your heroes if you're not buying them. Which I wonder if we have a little bit more. Yeah, I thought we got a couple more resources when we did our summons. So we'll make him a little bit stronger. And Ainz is honestly, he is the priority up to plus 30. He is the priority all the way to 9 of 9 furniture. He is a hero that you are going to build and you are absolutely going to completely max out. He is the hero you want to build, and he is the priority, just like you've seen. He can push through content probably better than any hero. Right on par with Damon, right on par with Lucretia. But ultimately, he's very, very easy to get. That's really the big thing. He is relatively easy. You can get him with those Garrison stones. You can get him with the dimensional stones. Just building him very, very quickly can help make a ton of progression. Even without Albedo, it will do very well. Yeah, Smoker, absolutely agree with that. So a lot of players have said, looking at the skills and abilities, Prince of Persia is Ezio 2.0. It's going to be interesting. And I really take it right now, Smoker, with a grain of salt, just because I want to see the hero when he comes live. I looked at the skills, looked it up on Reddit, see all of his information, but ultimately I want to see when he comes to the test server so we can see exactly what he looks like, how he works, what skills and abilities they really land on, and then also what his signature item looks like, what the furniture bonuses look like. Because right now it's all kind of in theory, it's all kind of data mined information, Smoker, when it comes to the Prince of Persia. So we have to see where it lands in actual concept in game, which is kind of what we're waiting for, guys. So it'll be very cool to see when it does land in game exactly how well he is. But guys, that will do it for progression for today with the free-to-play account. Boom, 21-42. So when we started, we were just midway through chapter 20. So pushed all the way to 21. We're going to make progression through here shortly, max out all of our floors of the faction tower, as well as pushed a lot of progression in the tower itself. So I know building out my teams, now I can push a ton more in the Peaks of Time. We have a couple new adventures in here. Same with the Wandering Balloon. We can start going through quite a bit of these because we're at the point that we can do these. And make sure, guys, again, going back and forth with content in AFK Arena, make sure this is how you play the game. When I'm stuck in the King's Tower, I go to the campaign. When I'm stuck at the campaign, I go to the King's Tower. We go ahead and knock out the Labyrinth. We go to the PvP. We hit up the Peaks of Time. We go through all of our adventures in here. Go to the Wandering Bloom. Go to the Trials of God. Even the Forest Mania. They added a ton more floors on here, guys. So if you haven't done that yet, that's free faction scrolls. You just have to go in there and pick up. So essentially, when you get stuck in AFK Arena, you can either stop playing or you can look at another avenue to play within the game, which is very, very cool to do. So again, guys, that will do it for the stream for us tonight, or today. It's 2 o'clock here. So I'm going to go out, do a little bit of shopping. Have a great day, guys. Enjoy your Sunday. It's back to work tomorrow. So again, guys, thank you guys for joining me as always for the stream. Have a good day. And as always, thank you guys for watching.